Hello, Bashar. It's my first time being here.
All right, to you, good day.
I came all the way from Canada to see.
I have come all the way from Ethasani.
Please.
Probably took me less time than it took you to come from Canada.
Yes. I have a few questions. I recently actually attended the workshops with Abraham.
Yes.
I went to the cruise, and I was also picked on a stage to speak with Abraham.
All right, did you have fun?
Yes, I did.
All right.
But she sort of confused me.
No, all right.
It comes to your teachings.
Yes.
I mean,
how so?
One
There can
of
be
the
many
things-
interpretations of these concepts, by the way, but how so?
One of the concepts you've been teaching, I've been following you for many, many years. You
Yes.
said that everything already exists now.
Yes.
Absolutely everything, wherever we thought, whatever ever existed, every single situation.
Everything having to do with the structure of existence exists now. Your experience and perspective of the structure is what changes and expands creation.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. And what she was mentioning, Abraham,
Yes.
how I gathered, she corrected me right away in the fact that everything already exists. She said it's a false premise.
Because of the what?
Because of the fact that the universe expands based
Yes.
on our own creations.
That's what I just said, though. You see, you're getting one side of an interpretation because it was apparent to Abraham that that was the connotation and the context in which that idea was being presented. But that's what we just said. The structure never changes. The structure exists. But what changes, what expands creation, is the idea of your experience and perspective of that structure that never changes and already exists.
So it's sort of like a combination of already whatever exists by us creating from whatever already exists, creating something new.
Yes,
Like,
you change your perspective. That creates something new. And that's what expands creation. So the idea that there is no expansion is false in terms of if someone thinks that's what it means, that everything simultaneously exists. These are not contradictory concepts. They're complementary concepts if you understand the actual structure of existence and how it works. But many people on your planet may have a misinterpretation of this idea, and therefore Abraham wanted to make sure that no one was thinking that it's all just done and there's nothing else to do and there's no other expansion and no other change that can happen and it's a fait accompli and I might as well die. Because Abraham can sense that many people have that interpretation of the idea that everything already exists. But we're not talking about the idea of what you create as your perspective and experience of everything that already exists. That's what expands. And that's exactly what Abraham actually said. You expand creation. You expand creation with your experience of what already exists.
yeah, and that's what I understand. And now, when does it actually expansion happens? It happens.
It's happening all the time.
No, but what I mean, it's like through me. It happens when the new idea is born. That's already
Do
expansion.
you understand what we meant when we said that you shift through billions of parallel realities every second?
Yeah,
Then each and every one of those is an expansion, isn't it?
I guess. Yeah.
You guess?
No. Yes.
Yes. Therefore, it's expanding all the time. Because every change is a total change, a complete change. Literally. You are in a different universe right now. You're in a different universe right now. You're in a different universe right now. You're in a different universe right now. Total change.
So those jumpings through the universes.
Yes.
This is the actual expansion.
Yes. And everything you do in the way you do it in that jump.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yes, it does.
Does this help clarify the issue a bit?
Yes, very much so. Yes.
All right. Anything else?
Yes. Also, if it comes to the belief system, is it necessary? That's the dilemma I have. Is it necessary in order to, let's say, I wanted to achieve something, I have a desire,
Yes.
and it's not coming to fruition? Is it necessary to examine my belief system? What is it that it's holding me back?
It can be, but you also have to be very aware that sometimes what you want is not what you need. Therefore, you have to be open to receiving what you need, assuming that what you want and what you need might sometimes coincide. That's fine, but it doesn't always. So we would suggest that what you really focus on is what you need, because if you get everything you need, you will be fulfilled. But sometimes getting what you want doesn't fulfill you, because what you want is not always what you need. Is this making sense?
Yes, it does.
So you can always examine your beliefs to make sure that, in a sense, yes, you're not getting in your own way, you're not blocking yourself, so to speak. But when you realize where the insistence or desire is coming from, and whether it is actually a recognition of your truth or a recognition of resistance, then you will know the difference. You will know whether it is a product of your excitement or a product of your anxiety that you think it needs to happen that way. Because insistence is resistance. Because you're saying, you know best what the outcome should be, and the truth is, you have no idea what the best outcome should be. None. Zero. But your higher mind does. So let the higher mind bring you what you need next, and you will find that that's the path to fulfillment.
So it wouldn't be like a shortcut to have desire.
You can always use the desire to create a visualization that is representative, symbolic of an ideal outcome to get you excited. But that's all it's for, is to put you in the proper state to be able to then receive what you actually need. So when you use a desire or a visualization, a representation, a symbol, a picture, an image of what you believe at the moment would be the ideal outcome, and you feel really excited about what you're seeing, the moment you are at the peak of excitement, drop the picture. Utterly drop it, and be open to receive what comes next as being the next thing you actually need, no matter how it looks. Then you will find that things will flow very quickly in a lot of directions that will give you a lot of fulfillment. But you have to drop the insistence that you know best what the next thing should be or what the outcome should be of your excitement, because you don't really know why the excitement came in the form that it did. Sometimes excitement will simply come in a certain form just to, as you say in your language, get you off your butt and take action in that direction. But just because it comes in a certain form doesn't mean that that form has to come to fruition. You don't know why it came that way, but you will find out if you just keep following the passion and the excitement with no insistence or assumption as to what the result of that is supposed to be. You'll see what it is. You'll be shown what it is. You have to trust what comes to you and use it in the best possible way by staying in a positive state so you can always extract the beneficial effect. If you go into a negative state, oh, that shouldn't have happened, you can only extract a negative effect, and that doesn't really serve you. So you can have your desires, you can have your wishes, you can have your visualizations, just don't insist that it has to be that way, because the truth is you don't know what actually serves you best from the physical perspective. But your higher mind does, so let it do its job.
Yeah, so it's the best, it's to connect to higher self and don't even bring attention to anything what could be possible stopping me from, because...
Again, you can use it as a tool to get you into the proper state. We're simply saying don't insist on it because you don't know that that's actually the best outcome. Sometimes it might be, but it might not be. So in actual fact, if you realize that insistence on a particular outcome is actually a limitation, you'll stop doing it. Because how do you know that something 10 times better couldn't have happened than what it is you imagined? Let the higher mind show you something 10 times better. Don't insist that you know it all, because you don't.
No, of course.
All right.
And
Does that help?
yes, it does.
All right.
Another thing what I got away being on in the presence of Abraham was like what they explained, that universe is about inclusion.
Yes.
Not about exclusion. So the moment we bring something to our awareness,
Yes.
even the fact of forgiveness, it's already you concentrating on the fact of forgiveness.
Yes.
And it brings that negative state in you.
All right, but understand the universe is positive and negative. Mm-hmm. Yes? Yes, the idea of the universe is slightly bent more in the positive direction, which allows you to say that the universe and existence is more about inclusion than exclusion, but both things exist on every level of existence.
Oh, yeah?
The idea is to understand that there is a balance point in the center. That's why things aren't a duality, they're a trinity. There's always a center point. Now, the center point being the balance point between the two polar opposites, because it is a balance point, it gives you the freedom to choose what you prefer. That's a slightly positive energy. So in a sense, you could say existence is, all right, 51% positive and 49% negative, but it does contain negative energy. And the idea of positive and negative is not a subjective value judgment. It's just a mechanical description. As you say, positive energy is inclusive, integrative, expansive. Negative energy is simply segregative, disconnective, diminishing. That's just a description of the way the energy works, mechanically speaking. It's not a subjective value judgment as to one is good or bad. That's different. The idea simply is to flow with the energy that works for you, because generally most of you would prefer to operate in harmony with existence because it is more advantageous and beneficial in effect. Then yes, go with the flow of the positive instead of swimming upstream and resisting the flow and experiencing the idea of the mechanical negative side of the universe, of existence. But the universe, existence, is both. You get to choose. Yin yang. You get to choose. Mm-hmm. Yes?
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes, it does.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.